I would fall 6 feet into a lake and die.
Nate!
Nate! This week's episode of Comically Gaming is brought to you by our buddies over at Mutiny Info Cafe, where they not only have a great selection of used books, records, and great coffee, but they also have a fantastic selection of new and used comic books, graphic novels, manga, posters, Gundam robots, and more. Mutiny Information Cafe in Denver at the corner of Broadway and Ellsworth, and online at mutinyinfocafe.com.
What's up, Corey?
What up, Nate?
This is Comically Gaming, episode 60.
60.
In this week's episode, we're going to talk about all the stuff that we've been doing this past week. We're going to talk some Star Wars news. We are going to talk video game news. We're going to talk comics news. We're going to go in depth on Castlevania.
Yeah.
Yes? Okay, good. I didn't ask. And then we're also going to, this is our Spider-Man Homecoming Spectacular that we'll wrap out the show with. So
Casey joining us,
yep,
movie
Casey
night.
Joining us for that. Yep, Dirk joining us for Comic Talk. And underneath what I'm talking right now, we'll tell you what part of the show you can go to if you only want to see the Spider-Man content, if you only want to see the comic content, if you only want to see the video game content. Check it out, fast forward. Check it out. Then maybe come back and watch the rest of the show because it's fun. Yeah. So, it's been a pretty good week, I think, Corey, huh? For this crap, yeah. How was your week?
Sure. It's great. Obviously watched Spider-Man.
Right.
Caught it on Thursday at 11:30.
Nice.
It's cool. They do these midnight releases now, but they start at like 4 p.m. on Thursday and then just go the whole day.
Just start on Monday or something.
Yeah, for real. So, but so I was able to catch that Thursday night. Loved it. We, as did you, and
we both loved it.
We'll talk about that later.
Yep.
I read a couple comics that we're going to be talking about with Dirk, Star Wars, and Jessica Jones.
Both those are good as well, huh?
Yeah. Finally done with the crossover in Star Wars. They were both really good.
Yep.
And I watched episode 8 of Fear the Walking Dead. Shit's getting pretty crazy there.
Is it? I feel like I'm going to skip this season unless you tell me that I really should make an effort to watch it.
It's not great, but
okay.
it's getting near the end. It's episode 8.
Sure.
And stuff's starting to get crazy, but
gotcha.
It's still not awesome.
I might still watch it sometime. It's on the DVR still. I might get to it sometime.
Yeah,
not a priority with all the great TV going on right now.
Yeah. I'm not regretting watching it afterwards or anything. Right. I like it, but
sure.
It's not as. It's no Legion. It's no Game of Thrones. It's
no Preacher.
Preacher. It's
no American Gods.
No American Gods.
Right.
Yeah. But it's good. I beat Uncharted 1.
Okay.
And almost. Supposedly I'm 75%. Feels like I'm near the end, but it says 75% in my save game for Uncharted 2.
Right. Let's pause on Uncharted.
Yeah.
What are your thoughts? You were kind of wishy-washy on them, it seemed like.
Yeah. I really like it now. After playing 1, I started playing it a while ago, and I kind of set it down and started playing other games. I wasn't really that into it. It's an old game, and it shows. It's
sure.
A big part of the Uncharted games is jumping around and climbing, and it felt kind of clunky. In 1 I was falling all the time. I would fall 6 feet into a lake and die. Nate! Like, I just fell 6 feet. I'm in the water. I'm good. But nope, he's gone. So, over and over again. That was frustrating. Sure. And it but it was fun. By
mean,
the end of it, I was liking it. I was, you got to know the characters, Elena and the fuck's his name?
Nathan Drake, Sully,
Sully,
right?
Sullivan.
Yep. Victor Sullivan.
Yeah. But beat 1. By the end of it, I was having fun, and then with 2 so far, I'm really liking it. Still got a little bit. You can still tell it's kind of an old game, but it's a big step up from 1. Just way more action packed the whole time. The I guess I don't want to go too spoilery.
Yeah, don't spoil it.
But there's just the action scenes. There's like crazy stuff. The different chases, like in different ways that I've never done in video games, and like the going in the city and being in buildings and then going, all the different locations, and then just the barrage of enemies, so many fucking enemies, that you're just you're just fucking murdering everyone. But it's
silly.
Yeah. But it's like you'll go to an area and it's not just like 6 guys, it's like 100 guys start coming running out.
Yeah. To be honest, like, you just gotta embrace that. They're very unapologetic with that.
Right.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So whatever.
It's like, that's gonna hurt in the morning.
Yeah.
Like, it's gonna be dead. His family's never gonna see him again.
right. Yeah, no, I'm with you. It is, but whatever. That's the game. It's the summer popcorn game. You know what I mean? Just like a summer popcorn flick or whatever. And yeah. And I feel like kind of what you said is like, I mean, if you think about it, before Uncharted 1, they were making, what's his name? The dude with the tude. What's his name?
Dude with the tude.
Yeah, they just put out their releases, the first Naughty Dog games.
What?
It's on PlayStation 1. Naughty Dog was making that platformer where you're running at the screen. You said you liked them. I was never a fan of them. You're the orange big dude who runs towards the screen and jumps over stuff.
Crash?
Not Crash. Wait, Crash Bandicoot, yes.
Oh.
Right. So, you're before Uncharted 1.
Because I didn't even realize they made Crash.
Yes, that was their first game. So before Uncharted 1, that's the game that they were making, was Crash games. And then, you're watching their kind of maturity from that to The Last of Us.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? They didn't just come out with The Last of Us.
True.
So it's kind of like we're taking that journey,
Yeah.
And I think 3 gets even better. That what you saw from 1 to 2 gets better from 2 to 3. And in particular, me, I play these games for story. The storytelling's awesome. For me, in particular, and don't mean to totally take it over, but with 3, they do there is much storytelling in the game with the other characters just walking around with you is most other games ever do in cutscenes, and really kind of up the ante. Like, that's why I like the Half-Life games so much, was how they kind of pioneered that type of storytelling. And Uncharted 3 in particular does it great. Great. So I'm looking forward to getting through them so we can both get to 4 and finally play that sucker.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah, and the storytelling just from 1 to 2 upped it quite a bit. 1, there really wasn't much, you got your intro to the characters and that was about it. But yeah, Nathan Drake's obviously an ass man.
It's clear.
But yeah, really digging that. And we did other video games. We did our weekly games. Tried to play like 3 games with you guys that weren't updated. And then
let's talk a little about Wildlands.
Yeah, got into Wildlands again.
So anybody that watches our show, knows that we've been playing Wildlands for a month and a half or whatever now. It's our Sunday night game when we get together with our buddies, with Wojo. Shout outs to Wojo and Oliver. And we're playing Wildlands with them. we had always kind of, since it came out, it's one of these big Ubisoft games where you're unlocking the map to get through it,
Yeah.
and it kind of feels like it's going to take us at the rate that we play a year to just unlock the regular map. So we had really put a lot of our time into just mission, and started finding that we couldn't upgrade our guys properly because we didn't have enough supplies and whatnot to do that. And so really this week we took our time away from that and started getting supplies, doing small side missions, things like that, actively going out and looking for upgrades to our weapons and things like that.
Yeah.
And it really brought to light how cool the upgrade system is in that game, huh?
Yeah, so awesome. Yeah, I mean it's just once we started looking for the gun parts, and just the upgrade system's awesome, and it's awesome how you have to look for the upgrades. How
Right.
We'd have to go to the regions, parachute in, look for informants, get the spots tagged, and then get into another big battle just to get the parts and stuff. And then and then once we had a bunch, it was awesome. We wanted more, and then we're looking at the
Right.
upgrade screen, and there's just so much shit that just I want to unlock now. And
Yeah, me too. Like,
yeah,
I feel like it really, for a game that I figured would be the Division 2, it's totally not. You know what I mean? It's
Oh, no,
all that
yeah.
stuff is completely different. And the Division, it kind of just took a page from Destiny where you're just chasing numbers.
yeah,
And
yeah.
this game's not like that.
No,
You're chasing stuff because it actually kind of feels different, and the way when you upgrade things, you're not trying to make your number higher in this. You're kind of looking at the charts and balancing what you like about how certain things
Yeah.
handle and what. So really cool, I thought.
yeah, super cool. Yeah, yeah, definitely digging it.
Yep.
We, next time we play, we gotta get out the screenshots and do some group skydiving, like
Yeah.
all dive together, like
Totally.
trying to hold our hands in parachutes and stuff.
Totally, I agree.
Yeah, we did a dive into the lake at the end, and the water's like concrete. It's true. It's you just bounce off that shit.
I'm gonna try and put that clip into the video here because I did save it.
Nice.
I'm gonna try.
Yeah.
No promises.
Yeah. So yeah, and then watched a couple of anime movies. I watched the one that everybody's talking about this year, Your Name, and I thought it was pretty good. I guess I don't get what all the hype was about, really. I mean,
Okay.
it was a good kind of, I guess, love story. It was good. It was clever, and the animation was awesome. It was really good, and I liked it a lot, but I just don't see what everybody's acting like it's one of the greatest movies of all time. I didn't really think that, but I thought it was good.
Yeah, for somebody who's not into anime, that's the one that I've been hearing about this year. So you
Yeah.
assume that's like the hallmark title of the year.
Hmm.
Yeah. All
And
right.
it was good. It was good, I guess, but I don't know. It's just kind of not. Maybe it's just not really my type of movie.
Sure.
It's kind of a romantic teenage love story type deal. Just
Gotcha.
wasn't, but it was good for what it was, for sure.
Okay.
And then I watched Spirited Away, which you had been telling me to watch.
You didn't
Which
see
also-
hyped.
I mean, I thought that was good too. Like, I didn't know if I was like missing some like deep meaning behind everything that like related to real life or something, or if it was just supposed to be kind of like a crazy movie with animals.
Yeah, it's
Like,
so
it's-
without being spoilery about it, it's a fairy tale, right? And just I feel like it's very all the fairy tales that we grew up with are very American, and it's
Yeah.
not.
yeah,
You know what
it's
I mean?
definitely not.
And I definitely like kind of it's got some real kind of with the artwork and the story, it's got these really kind of scary overtones,
Yeah.
so it's almost like the grim fairy tales that we're used to, only Japanese style. And so just when I had first seen it, it was the only thing like it, you
Yeah.
know, and blew me away because of that.
Yeah. But I liked it. It was good.
Yeah.
And I guess that's probably it for my week. I've been trying to find a fucking. Oh yeah, I watched the first 3 episodes of Castlevania.
Oh, you didn't finish it?
What? The whole series?
It's only 4.
Oh really?
Yeah.
Did you watch all 4?
Yeah.
Oh, I fucked up.
That's all right. I just am surprised you stopped because they're only 20 minutes or whatever. You stopped right before the climax.
I didn't realize. I probably would have. I was watching it today. Time constraints.
Sure.
So.
Totally. All right, we'll talk more about Castlevania later.
Yeah.
All right.
Then I tried to find a fucking Switch this week and it was unsuccessful. Today I went to Target, Meijer, Walmart, and GameStop. None of them had one. So
gotcha.
Can't talk about that.
So we'll talk more about the Switch later as well. Yeah. So we'll go around there. So my week looks a lot like yours. Spider-Man, American Gods. I'm getting there. Got 2 left on American Gods, so we'll finally be able to have that conversation. Preacher, Castlevania, the 2 comics. Star Wars, Jessica Jones, and then Book 7.
Nice.
You got to start reading it, dude.
Yeah.
Yeah. Before the show and everything happens, you need to go through that. So made it through that book. So I've got 3 more of those books left to read to get to the end. Definitely picking up at this point. Story-wise, anyway, action-wise, what the story, the crux of the story. Uncharted, we talked about that. Wildlands, we talked about that. What we didn't talk about is Catlateral Damage. So my niece came over this weekend, and the first thing that she wanted to talk about when she came through the door was Catlateral Damage, and looked it up on the PSN store. It was $2.99, so I bought that sucker, and it's a terrible, terrible game. But man, my niece, who normally spends the time that she's here watching the rest of us play games, she rocked that game the whole time she was here. So it was worth the $2.99 to let her show us how you knock stuff off of shelves.
Yeah, pretty good.
She's good. The game is not. Then just a couple other things. So, I listen to a lot of podcasts. I've talked for a few weeks here now about Rabbits. So Rabbits wrapped up this week and was good, really good. I can't say it enough. It's good. People who like the kind of stuff that we talk about on this show, you should download Rabbits, listen to that, because 10 episodes, they're about an hour long each, and it's a good story. The other thing that I listened to, the PlayStation blog, the official one, they had a really cool conversation this week that was with the guy who he's in charge of the Call of Duty's zombie content that's coming off of this recent Call of Duty game. So what is that? Infinite Warfare? And it was what I thought was going to be a fast forward through interview, ended up being really, really great. And he talked a lot about how, I don't know, you've played more COD than I have, but the zombie modes, I don't know if it's just this year or if they always do this, but they have kind of this 50s theme going on throughout the DLC for them that comes out. And he had this conversation about how they kind of set that all up and the research that goes into it. And he's really trying to kind of go back into what was, like, basically he said, back in the 50s, what scared people when they went into the movie theaters, and talking about how the monsters, like your classic your Dracula and the Universal monsters and whatnot, none of them were really like zombies were, which is this slow kind of horde. You know what I mean? That wasn't a thing that scared people back then. And so how that kind of got introduced into things, like he's doing the research on that. And then alongside of that, like what was going to a movie in the 50s like, they didn't have trailers in the 50s. They had videos that were like news clips and stuff still at that point, and then the intermissions and stuff like that, and just kind of how the whole experience of a movie was different, and particular horror movies and how that experience was different than it is today, and then trying to work that into their content that they put out. Super interesting stuff. You know what I mean? I figured throw some zombies in Call of Duty, shoot them.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And,
Right.
just the conversation that he had with Sid Schumann, the guy who runs the social network team over there, was really, really good. So I'd recommend people go look for that. It was definitely a good listen for sure.
Nice.
Yep. So that was it. Hold on, one sec. I think this is the first week. No breaking Star Wars news.
Oh yeah.
So for the Star Wars topic, did you see anything? I didn't see anything.
No.
Right? So,
No.
as I threatened a few episodes ago, I broke into one of these boxes around here. Just want to grab a thing or two. I got some episode 1 tattoos.
Oh, sick.
And then the same box that had that stuff in it also had, probably outside of my AT-AT and my Falcon, the crown jewel of my collection. So I've got both pieces of Hoth. So, yeah, full-on play sets. They got pegs all over the place where you can stick dudes' feet into and whatnot. So these will be going up on the shelf soon as kind of a display for all my characters and whatnot. This one here comes with this little stand that's on the side here. You stick your Imperial probe droid on top of that, and then when this dude spins, it knocks him off. So you can shoot him by turning the guy towards him or whatnot. So yeah, totally cool. And then laying inside all that, boom, 1980s Wampa. Sucker. Nice. Yeah. So just wanted to throw that in there. Just a little walk down memory lane. We'll do that on the off weeks every now and then. Bust out some of the crap I got around here. So, move on to video game news.
All right.
Still slow week. We're in the summer doldrums still of video game stuff. I do the biggest news this week is a whole bunch of Destiny 2 stuff dropped, and we kind of talked about this. Definitely looking more and more like Destiny 1.5.
Yeah.
The more stuff that they show us, right?
Yep. Showed the new social space with
the farm
with all the old familiar faces. And, yeah.
Yeah. So they do a walkthrough of the social space after the tower gets destroyed, and yeah, it's Cryptarch, Postmaster, Hangar.
Yeah.
Like
it's like the next expansion for Destiny, and the new social space.
Right. I mean, new social space, right? Yeah. New social spaces. New, what do they call the side, the things that like your character can be. So like
factions.
No, not that. So like the Titan can either be solar or can be the hammer or the
subclasses.
Yeah, new subclass, 2 new strikes.
Yeah.
However many new missions. Like we keep on talking about it, and we're gonna play it. So, they've got us, but it definitely is. All the kind of more that we'd wished it was, doesn't seem like we're going to get it unless it's some big surprise that they're going to drop on us. But I'll be shocked. It's not, right?
And they've already shown us that.
Yeah, agreed. So Destiny. Okay, and then Castlevania. So the Castlevania series that we had talked about, it got renewed for season 2, which will be twice as long. It's going to be 8 episodes. So yeah, that's we'll talk more about Castlevania in a bit. Let's see. Okay, so the producer of the Castlevania TV show announced an Assassin's Creed anime is going to be put out again through Netflix or whatnot. So I feel like...
We gonna do spoilers on Castlevania?
No. Not specific story spoilers.
Okay.
So, yeah, again, we'll talk a little bit more about this. I feel like if it's in the same vein as Castlevania, then cool. Whatever. It's tough to talk about it without getting into it. So, circle back a little bit later in the show. And then the final thing that I was going to say for video games, because it's a slow week, Kotaku.com, one of the sites I visit pretty much daily, they had an article they have what is for every video game system their top 12 games. So they update it, like it seems like once every other month or something. If a new game comes out that really deserves to be there, they'll go and update it, repost it or whatnot. And I do like watching those lists. For the most part, I agree with them. Pretty much dead on the nose, more so than other sites that kind of put that same list out. So I've been pretty vocal about how the Switch isn't for me yet, because every game that I care about I can get or have already played at this point, until Odyssey comes out, and it seems like that'll be the case still. But I was pretty surprised with their list and down with some of these games, so I just thought we'd kind of real quick go through it. Right? You're still looking for a Switch as well. Like, our perspectives are pretty different on the Switch, right?
Yeah.
So if you want to real quick just state what your perspective is again, in case people don't watch us all the time.
Well, you got a Wii U and I don't, so all these re-releases and Zelda, I don't have access
it's worth
to.
It for Zelda by itself.
Yeah. So.
Right.
I want to get Switch, Zelda, and Mario Kart. You already have those.
Right.
So.
Right. And after reading this list, I feel like when you do that, there's like 3 or 4 more I'd pick up also.
Yeah.
That are on this list, So, number 1, Zelda. I don't think we need to talk about Zelda. Pretty widely renowned as one of the greatest games of all time at this point, and you can tell within 5 hours into that game that's the experience that you're getting.
Seems like you've taken a break. Uh-huh.
I have taken a break. It's because I have no time in my life. Eventually, once I get through Uncharted 3, so my plan is, once I get through Uncharted 3, I'm going to play through another palace on Persona. Then I'm going to play some more Zelda. Then I'm going to play Uncharted 4.
You should just go straight to Uncharted 4.
I want to play Persona. Can you blame me?
No, I can't.
And Zelda. So the next one that's on their list is Disgaea 4. Disgaea 5. Mm-hmm. So the most recent Disgaea, this is your turn-based, grid-based RPG, so Final Fantasy Tactics, Advance Wars, things like that. Mm-hmm. And whenever these games come out, they have a huge cult following that praises them to the sky. They always do really great by critics. If I had a Switch, I would absolutely buy that game. I should just buy it for my PS4 one of these times. Why not? But
yeah.
But it's supposed to be a great game. Have you ever played any Disgaea? Mm-hmm. No. Yeah. Next is Snipper Clips. Snipper Clips seems like, to me, it's like the Wii U Sports or the Wii Sports of the Switch. It's like this kooky game that came out that everybody says is really fun to play. Looks stupid. Still looks stupid.
Yeah, I wouldn't get that.
To me, yeah, I wouldn't either. But everybody says like that's the game that like you have a buddy over and throw that on and you have fun for 2 hours. Is what I hear over and over again. Next is Thumper. Thumper is a game that I'm absolutely going to get on the PS4. Everybody says it's like the coolest. It's the evolution of music games, and that it's super like crunchy and almost like nightmare techno scary.
Yeah,
I'm intrigued by that.
Yeah, it sounds cool when I was reading about it. So it's on PS4?
It is on PS4 now. Yep. Puyo Puyo Tetris. another one of these games that initially I would look at and say, "Oh, that sounds stupid." Everybody says it's great. Everybody who
Yeah.
plays it says it's great, and it has a story mode, I guess. I don't know.
Yeah.
This was one of the games when there were a few different game companies that were coming out and saying that you can't put it on YouTube. Like when Persona came out, they said you can't put past this day on YouTube. Puyo Puyo Tetris also had a similar restriction, so that intrigues me,
Yeah.
right? What we got next? The Binding of Isaac. You ever played this?
No.
So it's weird. I've tried to pick it up. So many the people that are into this game are way into it, and
Yeah.
I've played it probably 4 or 5 times. And the
Do we
base,
have it? I think I might have it.
I think you do. So the base action is like the old school Zelda dungeons, where it's top down, 4 doors. You gotta like defeat all the enemies in the room, and then a door will open up. But it's a roguelike, and you get these certain skills that are really crazy as you go through it. So roguelike meaning, you know what a roguelike is, right?
No.
So like
I mean, I
rogue,
might, but
you ever play Rogue Legacy, or like Battleborn's a roguelike? Like these games that are, you make a run at it, you get so far and then you die, and then your next turn you get a little bit further, you die, you make a next run at it. Spelunky's like that, you get a little bit further, and you kind of learn a little bit each time, so to speak. So it's one of those kind of games.
oh,
Now,
Rogue Legacy.
yes,
Yeah.
yes. So it also has this super sacrilegious story where Isaac's mom thinks that God is talking to her and telling her that she needs to kill Isaac. And so she's got him like locked up in the basement, and he fights these enemies with his tears.
Hmm.
And that story evolves as it goes on and is really good. I got to say, super good. So definitely check it out. Minecraft, what do you say about Minecraft? I'm done with Minecraft. It's a great game. Cave Story Plus. So Cave Story is like another cult classic I've never played. I've heard, it goes down with like Earthbound as like games that you hear about all the time. Have never gotten a chance to get through.
Mm-hmm.
Mario Kart 8. So that would be one of your games, right?
For sure.
Jackbox Party Pack. I can't really endorse Jackbox Party Pack. I've played it a couple times. Have you played them?
No.
They're okay. They're all right. It's just not, I don't know. Not.
I'm not big on party games.
Yeah, right. And for me, like, I feel like Mario Kart 8 is a party game.
Yeah.
Not a Pictionary game or whatever, Next one, Shovel Knight. It's well chronicled how awesome I think Shovel Knight is.
Yeah.
ARMS. Everybody seems to like ARMS since it's been out. I still don't think I get it. It just seems a little light on content for me.
Yeah, I don't think I would get it. Unless I had a buddy who got it and said it was really awesome and wanted to play or something. But I don't know.
Yeah, I mean, I just feel like for me, I'd rather get the Street Fighter 2 game that's out on there than pick up ARMS.
Yeah.
But yeah, I feel like, going back over that list, I feel like with the Switch, for me, it would be Legend of Zelda, Mario Kart, Disgaea 5, Thumper, maybe Puyo Puyo Tetris, depending on how much that bad boy costs. And then maybe Cave Story. I got Shovel Knight in too many other places to buy it again, but yeah, how about for you? Does that any of those, you're gonna buy a Switch when you find one, right? What's any of those other games do anything for you?
I don't know. I think Disgaea 5 sounds cool. I'm gonna probably watch some videos.
Right.
Might get that. I was already planning on getting Zelda and Mario Kart. Like I said, ARMS. I don't know. Thumper sounds sweet.
Right.
He said it's on PS4 though. I might get it on there.
Yeah. Yeah.
It's the thing. I mean, there's good games on there, but besides Mario Kart and Zelda, most of them you can get elsewhere, right?
I think every one of those you can nipper clips in ARMS.
Yeah.
And but I feel like for me, like the reason why this list kind of stuck out to me is that if I bought a Switch today, I don't care about ARMS, I don't care about Splatoon. So that being said, I'm like, what else do I get? But I feel like if by the end of this year, if you had Zelda, Mario Kart, Mario, and then Disgaea, I feel like that's a good mix of different kind of games. You know what I mean? Throw one of these other ones in there kind of on the side as well.
Yeah. I might get Splatoon. I don't know. Everybody acts like it's awesome. I've never played any of them.
It's a good game, but it's a shooter. And there's way better shooters on the PS4. You know what I mean? I just feel like...
But maybe not better than Splatoon 2. You don't know that yet.
Yeah, you're right. You are right. I'll reserve my judgment for sure.
Yeah.
So that's the video game subject of this week. We're gonna have Dirk jump in, join the discussion here for some comics talk.
Yep.
Be right back.
All right, we're on to the comic section. Got Dirk with us now.
What's up, Dirk?
What's up, Dirk? Yeah. So, comic news this week. So we had some sad news this week. Another R.I.P. Joan Lee.
That's sad.
Stan's wife. Yeah.
That one got to me.
Yeah, it sucks. Died of a stroke. 93 years old.
It's a full life, though.
It is.
What, 40 years married? 40 or 50 years married? Or even longer than that.
69 years married.
Yeah, right. You go back to think about that. They were married like 15 years before I was born.
Yeah. December 5th, 1947.
Yep.
They got married.
Yeah.
Wow.
I didn't really know anything about her until this happened, and then read a couple articles, and really crazy how they met and got married and all that stuff. I don't know. We don't need to go through all those details, but it kind of a cool story. Seems like she had a pretty amicable breakup with her ex-husband, and then Stan swooped in, and obviously it stuck. Obviously, so
69 years.
Awesome.
Yeah. R.I.P. Apparently, Stan Lee has credited her with helping create the Fantastic Four team right before he planned on quitting Marvel. So, love the Fantastic Four. Thanks, Joan.
Thank you, Joan.
Sorry, Stan. It sucks. And then, on to the rest of the news. Had a couple pricing things with Marvel, with Secret Empire and what's it called? Dark Knight's Metal. Secret Empire. Same thing with number 6. Number 8 is increasing from $3.99 to $4.99.
Oh wow.
Also, the pages are increasing from 40 to 48 pages. So, price increases never good. They are huge books, though.
They are thick.
I don't see how 8 pages equal. It probably cost them an extra 0.5 cents or something. But yeah, went up. Yeah, content. Then. But Metal, DC announced that after number 1, they're dropping the price for their big event, the Dark Knight's Metal. It's going from $4.99 down to $3.99 due to surprisingly high pre-order numbers. So
interesting.
That looks like it's gonna do
inside info. It sounds like.
Yeah.
Still,
with the way they do distribution and stuff, it's all about pre-orders and stuff. Apparently, yeah. But.
All that's still too expensive, right?
Yeah.
If
sure.
anybody who wants to read all of their content every month, it's impossibly expensive.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And it points people to either steal off the internet or I've got to try the Comixology with Marvel included. It seems like it's real recent content. I don't know exactly how much, but if I have the Comixology app that I have a lot of stuff on, and when I go to their store now, their store is kind of listed by on unlimited or not, and almost all the Marvel stuff is on there. Almost everything that I've seen is on there. So it seems like that's the way to go right now if you actually want to pay these artists that you enjoy their content, some money.
I think you can get a free trial of
price too. Yeah.
Yep.
Because I think if they drop the price, they'd make more money, right? They would sell more.
Yeah.
I don't know.
We think so.
It seems logical, especially in this day and age where these movies are so popular, and then somebody like me wants to go out and have their kids read some comics, but then you look at the prices and it's so stupid expensive. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
They need to get with the digital age. And maybe you have a two-tier system where the people who've always liked to enjoy or collect the paper copies and have a nice room full of stuff on their walls and stuff, that's a little bit more expensive. But you got to get with the times or they'll go.
What about the bundles? You remember we had the bundles, like the 3-packs?
Yeah.
Those were awesome.
Yeah, totally.
Yeah, for sure. But
those.
pricing shit. And then I guess earlier today, some Wonder Woman 2 news. Wonder Woman 2 is reportedly going to take place in the 80s during the Cold War.
Whoa.
It's facing off against the Russians this time, Soviet Union. So
that's interesting.
Yeah, weird. I figured it would jump to current times,
right?
Especially since Justice League's next.
Right.
They're gonna go. I figured it'd start with an origin like Captain America, and then bring it to current times. But apparently they're gonna go back in time.
I kind of like that.
So I guess she doesn't die.
Yeah.
Spoilers.
Yeah.
I think it'll just start with her at her job. You know what I mean? Again, reminiscing, finding some artifact from those times or whatever. I'm cool with that, to be honest.
Yeah, I'm cool with it. I liked it. I liked Wonder Woman. So
I wonder what.
I like Cold War as a setting too. That's nice.
Yeah, for sure. So, and then they're in talks with Patty Jenkins, the same director. She's planning Wonder Woman 2 with them, but she's not confirmed yet. She, probably money or something.
Sure.
And then I guess Fox announced dates for 6 Marvel movies starting from June 2019 to March 2021, but no titles. So.
What?
So they upped their kind of movies per year after next year. I guess kind of guessing what those are. The article the story that I watched on IGN about this was like the no-brainer of those is Deadpool 3.
Yeah.
Right.
Deadpool's not going anywhere, right?
Are they making enough money off of those movies to, I guess, fund that kind of output?
Yeah.
Or is it a big loss?
Well? I feel like Logan must have done well.
Logan did well, absolutely.
Obviously, Deadpool did well. So these Marvel movies.
It's true, I guess. Yeah.
The MCU's making $300 million off every movie. I think if they can some bean counter sitting in a room saying, "Look, if we can figure this out, we're going to be rich." So
they might go in that direction that the MCU won't touch, which is that gritty sort of rated R content,
Yeah.
Because they're not afraid to hit that.
Yep.
Yeah, for sure.
Somebody needs to do it.
Probably the X-Force movie.
Sure.
Yeah.
They've been talking about that, but it hasn't really been announced yet.
I tell you what, the one thing that they own that I would love to see is Silver Surfer movie.
Yeah.
Haven't heard anything about that.
Great.
I'd love for that to happen.
Can you imagine like a Silver Surfer movie that's done in the style of like the Alien films?
Yeah.
How insane that would be! Like something like really dark, space-based, that because
Or,
you know,
if
yeah.
I'm honest with you, Dirk, flip that the exact opposite way and have it be like almost like super colorful, bright, like almost animated feel to it.
Right.
You know what I mean? Psychedelic or whatever. Like, get great. There's so many things that you could do with Silver
Yeah.
Surfer that would just
Yeah.
be great.
For sure.
You'd
Yeah.
assume that Galactus comes with Silver Surfer, right? You'd assume that they
Yeah.
have the rights to him as well.
Yeah.
So it's just so many good
But,
stories that you could have where they don't even get to Earth, where they're just out eating up.
Tony,
No, you know what? You could do a Star Trek type series.
Shout out to Tony.
If you. Oh man, is this his first appearance on the show?
Maybe he's been on a lot of lifers.
I know. So I mean, could you see like maybe a series? I think that would be kind of cool because there's so much content there. Yeah.
Yeah. Just different worlds and
Yeah, and you don't have to. It doesn't have to be CGI. You could paint them, or something. I don't know. That'd be cool.
Sure.
I like space programs that are TV, format.
Definitely.
Totally.
Yeah. Other than that, not a lot of comic news this week. Just I guess brief Spider-Man kind of news. Kevin Feige, kind of Tom Holland was talking about it being a trilogy. Kevin Feige is calling it a five movie plan for Spider-Man. Just saying that with starting with Civil War, and then Spider-Man, then Avengers, then the next Avengers, and then the next Spider-Man. But but it's calling it an amazing 5-story journey for Peter Parker, which sounds awesome after seeing the Homecoming.
So no spoilers, but that makes sense after watching Homecoming, right?
Definitely.
Yeah. And, man, can't be more excited for that.
Is that a play? Is that the title of Homecoming? Is that a play on him like coming back to the MCU for that movie?
I bet you. Yeah. I mean, it has to be.
Yeah.
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 Totally.
Interesting.
Yep.
Yeah.
For sure.
But that's about it. I think Dirk wanted to make a few recommendations this week.
No spoilers, Dirk. No spoilers.
No spoilers. First, I'm going to kick it off vintage. For the people that have been watching the Castlevania series, Warren Ellis wrote that series. Warren Ellis is in my top 3 probably favorite comic book writers. He did a series in the late 90s, early 2000s called Transmetropolitan, and I would highly encourage everybody to get that series about Spider Jerusalem.
So, can I interrupt you?
Yeah.
We're actually going to talk about Castlevania next. After
Nice.
you leave, we brought up the point that it's written by Ellis, and I had just mentioned that I hadn't seen.
It's incredible.
I read like his whole Wikipedia page and all the stuff that he had written, and obviously a huge amount of content. Transmetropolitan came up over and over and over again, and I have not read that yet. So
it's excellent.
Definitely interesting.
I mean, I actually, what's weird is that I got my started with Warren Ellis fandom via Marvel. He took over the Hellstorm title. In the 90s, and made it super dark and weird, and I guess he got canceled after doing that. But that one. If we haven't recommended it, the all new Guardians of the Galaxy series is amazing. I think people need to check that out.
I read the first issue of that this week too.
Yeah, really good. Yeah, I mean it's that same team, and I know that it's a play up of those characters from the film. It's not anything different at all, but that team itself is it's something that you could take the formula of from the movies and expand upon in the books.
For sure.
How deep is that in? How many issues?
5.
5, yeah. Yeah, I read the first one.
There's so much to read.
Yeah, you had time to watch Castlevania this week.
Yep.
It's true.
Fit in time to read a book.
Yeah, that's pretty much it. Oh, and Vertigo. This is kind of from a few years ago. American Vampire on Vertigo. I would recommend if anybody is looking for some horror title.
It's horror.
It's horror, and it's done. They go into a lot of historical aspects, and it's not your typical vampire story. It's sort of like vampire in a Western setting or a vampire in a colonial setting.
Sure.
So it's good stuff.
Sure. Okay.
Nice.
Cool.
Kick it off, Nate.
Yep. I just wanted to do a quick shout out also. Back when we did our Free Comic Book Day show, I had talked about this. So my buddy Gabe wrote The Ballad of Franklin Bonesteel, and in the back of this, where the heck was it? There's like a 4-part preview of Murder Ballads,
Awesome.
and so Murder Ballads comes out tomorrow. So today, when this video goes live, and it's I guess some type of a collaboration with a friend of his who's a musician, not a magician, but a musician. And so it's actually a graphic novel that comes with a soundtrack. So
Yeah.
I really don't have any more details than that, to be honest.
It's awesome.
I do.
It's starting to happen a lot.
Yeah.
Waxworks did it too. Waxwork
Okay.
Comics. Yeah.
Cool. So anyways, I've liked the stuff that Gabe's written in the past. He's written some books that I've gotten for young adults and kids. I've read every comic that he's thrown on the internet saying that he wrote, and I like it all. I can definitely get behind it. This isn't just
Nice.
it is because he's my friend that I pointed out, but it's also really cool
Solid
content,
material.
so,
Right.
Yep,
Awesome.
I've got it pre-ordered, and I suggested everybody else do the same, and hope to have him on the show here within the next few weeks as well, and then he can kind of talk about it himself and kind of actually have specifics about what the project entails. But it sounds cool.
Yeah. for
Featured
sure.
artist section.
Yeah, totally. I'd love to have a bunch of featured artists on here for sure.
Yeah.
All right.
Yeah.
All right, cool. Well,
All right.
let's move on with the show. Moving on to the Castlevania topic, and then the Spider-Man Spectacular. Dirk, thanks for joining as always.
Absolutely.
All right.
Yeah.
Till next time.
Yep. All right. Thanks again for Dirk for joining as always. Always great to have him.
Thanks, Dirk.
Yep.
That's great.
Yep, for sure. And want to talk Castlevania, right?
Yeah.
So we both watched Castlevania. You watched one episode short. So
Should I?
we're not going spoilers, so don't worry about it. Maybe next
Sure.
week we do full spoilers on it. Maybe.
Okay.
You know what I mean?
So, I mean, I could watch it after this. It's only 20
Yeah.
minutes.
I don't feel like it's important enough.
Okay.
So no spoilers. What do you think?
I like it. I don't know. It's all right. I haven't played Castlevania, so I don't know how well it follows the story of the game, or if it does even at all. Or I mean, I know Dracula's in the game, and I really don't know much about Castlevania.
So
But
baseline Castlevania has always been Belmont's versus Dracula.
yeah,
There's
that's
been-
kind of what I assumed. Yeah.
Yeah, there's been side stories as well, but that's been bottom line. That's your story.
Yeah, and I like that Belmont guy. He's cool. So it starts off a little rusty, but the violence is cool. I don't know. I mean, I thought it was decent for
That's-
a cartoon made about a video game.
Right. So
Um,
I'm right there with you. I feel like it's a step up from the animated comic book stuff that
Yeah,
shows up on cable all the time. I do feel like it is clearly aimed at a 14-year-old,
yeah,
right?
yeah.
It doesn't seem like, when this was coming out, people
Yeah,
were
it's rated
talking-
mature, but it's really not that mature.
right. It's because there's a lot of cursing.
Yeah,
You know what I mean, and some blood, but it's when this was coming out, it's written by Ellis, who is done a million things in comic books over the years. As I was kind of looking through his, it's not a filmography, but comicography, and honestly, I hadn't read a lot of them, but he's written so much for everything, and has his own for both the big two and independent stuff. That obviously the guy is kind of a monster in the industry. That said, I just thought this was it was being touted as Game of Thrones like, the story, anyways, and very simple story, right?
Yeah, real simple.
Right. So I didn't buy that, but
Yep.
you know,
I'm surprised when you said it's. I thought you said to watch the first 3 episodes. I figured there was at least like 12 or something. 4. It's real simple story.
right. I think, to be honest, they just wanted to see if anybody watch it, and
Yeah.
as soon as it hit, enough people did that they immediately renewed it. You know what I
Yeah.
mean? So I think that the interest is there. You
The
know,
weird thing with Netflix is the advertising is so weird with Netflix. Like you just kind of have to hear about things by word of mouth. Like
yeah,
I booted up Netflix looking for it, and I had to. It wasn't suggested for me. I figured it would be with the
Right.
stuff I watch, and it wasn't in like popular. And then I go down and it's in recently added on the next page over. I'm like, what? This should be like front page or something to get people to watch it. Like
Yeah.
that's the only thing. Like I was wondering if a lot of people would watch it just because. What if people don't even know about it? Because it
Yeah.
wasn't. I had to dig a little bit to find it. It's a new series that, I've heard about. I figured it would be. It's weird. Netflix is weird, but they have so much content that it's some of
Yeah.
it just gets lost, it seems like.
Yeah, you're right. Yep, you're absolutely right. But yeah, I think overall, I feel like, okay, it was fun to spend an hour and a half watching it. Like you say, the kind of the way that, especially that Dracula's powers are definitely outside of the scope of your traditional Dracula.
Yeah.
But they are acting like he's Vlad.
Yeah.
And so I liked the story. It was okay. It was simple. Again,
Yeah.
kind of aimed at a younger group. But if I was going to sit down and watch something with my teenage kid, I'd like to watch this as opposed to something on the Disney Channel or whatever.
Right. Yeah. Yeah. I mean, if something of this quality about like one of my favorite games, I'd be super into that. I haven't played Castlevania, so it just didn't. But if they made it about, if they did one like a Last of Us spinoff or a Witcher or even Destiny about something Cade's going out and doing or something, I'd totally be into
cool
it.
About Destiny, right? God,
Yeah.
Destiny has such an opportunity to be cool.
Mm-hmm. For sure.
Yep. Okay, cool. Well, we're going to move on, getting towards the end of the show, wrapping it up. We always do shout outs to the community, people that have supported us this past week. I think our subscribers went from 637 to 644. So thank you to all the new subscribers. Really appreciate the support. And what we like to do is the people that kind of share their subscribers, who we can see that you're subscribing to us, just give you a shout out. Everybody else, look in the description of this video and you'll see a link to these guys' YouTube channels. Please go click that link, click subscribe to their channels. We watch as much of their stuff as we can, so it is content that we kind of can get behind. And also, they supported us. Please support them. Oh. So this week we got 2. The first one is my name of the week. She said she was level 18. So that's nice. I like the name in a good show, good channel anyways. And then the other one is Super Sebastian. So thank you so much to the 2 of you for subscribing this week, and hope to be in your comment section soon coming up. But
sure.
Yep, and then the other thing is, as always, I want to give some extra special thanks. Fred Thomas for our theme song, C. Ryder for our logo art, and I also forgot last week to give a shout out to a guy whose YouTube page his name is Foda or Fuda. It's Fodda. I'm not exactly sure how he pronounces it. He gave us a real nice tweet on Twitter, just out of the blue, nothing attached to it. It wasn't like I went to him and gave him a shout or anything like that. Just saying, hey, if you're into games and comics, check these guys out. They're cool, So really appreciated that. Gonna throw his channel down here in the comments again. We've done it in the past, but we'll do it one more time. So thank you, appreciate that.
Yeah, for sure.
So, with all that out of the way, we're gonna move on. Full spoilers. Spider-Man Homecoming. The Spider-Man Homecoming Spectacular.
Yeah, you've all been waiting for.
Spoilers. It was great.
Yeah.
Right?
Excellent.
The movie night, Casey Knight, is going to join us. Always great to have Casey on. If you haven't seen the movie yet, here's your chance to leave because it's a full spoilers conversation. So if you have and you're sticking around, then enjoy the rest of the show. If you're leaving, thank you so much for watching this week, and we'll see you next week.
Later.
All right, let's continue.
Here we go.
Welcome, everybody, to the Spider-Man Homecoming Spectacular. Once again, Casey's joining the show. Casey, thank you for stopping by.
Of course, as always.
Sometimes I forget, so I want to say this is our spoiler topic this week. This is full spoilers. If you haven't seen the movie yet, go watch the movie. It's great, right?
Yeah. It's awesome.
Yeah, okay. I want to make sure we all think it's great. And then come back and watch this video after you've seen it. Also, Casey, why don't you tell the people where they can find you?
I'm on YouTube, Movie Night with a K channel, and you can follow me on Twitter at Movie Night 88, and that's where I post most of my stuff.
Totally. It's great stuff if you're into movies in general and more than just the nerdy comic book stuff that we do here. Casey hits up everything every week, or at least one or two of the new releases, right?
All the good stuff.
Yep.
Or bad stuff. Really bad
stuff. Speaking of bad stuff, I saw the trailer for this for what is it called?
Jumanji?
No, not Jumanji. That looked terrible too. But the singing one with the girls singing group.
Oh, Pitch Perfect 3?
Pitch Perfect 3. Yeah, so it's funny that's coming out in December. And I just thought about, as I'm watching this trailer, they thought, okay, who are the people on Earth who don't want to see Star Wars? Let's make a movie for them. And it was Pitch Perfect 3.
Well, to be fair, the second one opened up bigger than Mad Max on the same weekend. So counter-programming is a fucking thing.
It's crazy. Funny.
Yeah. It's not as good, obviously. I like the first Pitch Perfect. The second one was,
I haven't seen any of them, but I'm just judging from that trailer. But we're off topic already, so.
What?
Yeah, so Spider-Man Homecoming, I haven't spoken with either of you about it yet. I just got out of theater today, saw a matinee. I've had family in town. Just thought it was just perfect, to be honest. That's my initial impression. It's just, was just a great time. I loved the first 10 minutes of the movie were so awesome.
Him nerding out behind the scenes.
Yes, right. All his shots of the Civil War scenes and stuff were so awesome. The one Giant Man behind him and stuff.
Yeah.
So shit,
great.
He's big. I gotta go.
Yeah, right.
It's so great.
Exactly. And then also the Vulture's background from Avengers 1 was great. So cool when they do stuff like that. Now they're not only tying these together proactively, but they're going back into the beginning, of this long story that they've been weaving. And just I was getting butterflies, to be honest, in those first 10 minutes there.
Yeah, we knew he was in the MCU with this movie, but they took it to a whole nother level. It seemed like the whole thing it's awesome how interwoven it was. It was awesome. It was definitely one of the best parts.
Did you guys notice the continuity error though? There's a small error, and I noticed it right away. I looked over did anybody else notice that? But they're 8 years later, and I'm like, Avengers was 2012, and it's 2007. That's 5 years.
Right.
So I don't know if they're saying that so much has happened in the MCU in the last 5 years of our time that now it's been 8 years. But there's references throughout the movies to stuff that's happening kind of now, not necessarily on the mark references, but kind of subtle references. So I don't know if they're making their timeline kind of sped up for reasons that we couldn't believe that Wachovia, New York, Civil War, all this stuff happened in 5 years, but in our time it has, so I'm not sure if they really address that. They might address it later, but big fucking hole right there. Yeah, I'm not sure if you guys noticed that or not.
Yeah, so I did notice that. I just assumed that, it's not real time.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? That their time doesn't match ours. I thought that was less of an issue to me than the weird Doctor Strange stuff where he was clearly talking about War Machine and they pretended like he wasn't because of the timeline. That was kind of whatever. But
yeah, that was weird too.
So I don't know.
Nothing can be perfect. You can't put a million puzzle pieces together simultaneously.
Right.
I'm sure Star Wars is going to have the same kind of problems now that they're building around the universe that already exists. But
eventually, yeah.
It just irked me for a second. I was like, that seems wrong to me. And I had to do my math in my head. So
Totally. So yeah, just going around, Corey, your initial impressions?
Yeah, I loved it. It was awesome. I really could. I mean, everything was awesome. I loved Peter Parker. I loved Spider-Man. I just thought the whole him being, inexperienced, trashing people's yards and houses and shit,
right?
And it was awesome. And
Ferris Bueller.
Yeah. I mean, all the characters were great. I really loved it. The one thing, I guess, the only complaint, Dad always says superhero movies are too silly, and I did think. When he said that, there were a few moments in this where there were like real serious scenes, like when Tony takes the suit away and then he wears like the shirt walking away, and people are laughing around me, and then when he's like in the big battle with the Vulture and there's like gum under the table and he's like, ew, like there's a few, like it seems like they were trying to stick too much comedy in there to lighten it up. Like I feel like some scenes can just be serious without having to have constant comedy dropped in.
Sure.
But only because people were laughing around me when I thought it was like a serious moment of the movie.
Right.
But it's a real minor gripe. I loved the whole thing. Everything was awesome.
I totally agree with the moment where he walks out with the T-shirt after he takes the suit away, because that is like a super harsh moment,
right.
And it leads into more sad moments where he's kind of questioning his whole existence as Spider-Man. But the bubblegum thing didn't bother me because he was fighting Shocker. And no one thought that like Shocker 2 or whatever the black guy took over the arm thing was gonna beat him. So it wasn't like he was like really in imminent danger when he got bitch smacked into the bus or whatever.
Yeah.
And I thought that worked with like the whole he finds comedy inside the action scenes thing that Spider-Man kind of always naturally does. I thought that part worked, but I agree with you that they kind of undercut the gravity of the situation with the Tony Stark scene by having a laugh right after, when they also followed that part with more sad stuff. It did make sense to me.
Yeah.
I totally hear what you're saying. In the moment, that didn't bug me. It's Spider-Man. You know what I mean? He cracks jokes.
Yeah.
Compared to everybody.
That wasn't a
movie.
Joke in time. I mean,
sure,
he doesn't.
Sure.
When things are serious, he's not cracking jokes.
Yeah.
But
one other thing, just to comment on what you were saying, is I love that whole scene was he's in the suburbs. It's Spider-Man is used to be in New York City, so he can't fly.
That was such a great thing.
He's running across the golf course or whatever.
Yeah, right.
Shoots.
Right.
How many times have fans been like, what does he do when there's not stuff to grab onto that's like 100 feet high? And they finally answered like a age-old question. That was brilliant the way they did it too. The fact that he'd rather just like basically like Marty McFly it and just like attach himself to a car and just get a joyride, like just surf it.
Yeah,
or I guess
totally.
Another Michael J. Fox movie, but whatever. Yeah, that's the way he gets around. If he needs to go more than like 15 miles an hour, he needs to jump on a car.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
Totally. So Casey, how about you? What was your score that you gave it, and what's your overall thoughts?
Oh man, I gave it a 9 out of 10 because I couldn't really find any holes in the movie. The comedy was top notch. I felt like what it did was it took the best parts of the original trilogy, the best parts of the Andrew Garfield movies, and mixed them together, and then added other elements. And also, because it's the third incarnation, they can't give you everything the way it's been fed to you before, like Uncle Ben and Mary Jane and all that stuff. They changed a lot of that stuff.
Yep.
And I feel like diehards are going to be upset, but like, hey, shut up, you already got like 5 fucking movies of that. Let's try something that works a little different. And it's also 2017, and not everything is the same as it was in the 60s. Like working for a newspaper. I don't know how they're going to do that later, but they didn't do it in this movie, and it worked for me. I felt like the movie is just super funny. Like the quippy parts were the best parts of the Andrew Garfield ones. When he's like, oh God, a knife, my only weakness, and then he fucking zaps it. Like that shit is great. And then in the original trilogy, just the light, bright funness and also giving the villains and stuff their moment of gravity. I thought that all worked really well in this film. And I said in my review, I'm not 100%. I got to give it some time, but it might be the best Spider-Man movie ever. I feel like 2 is right there, but I watched 1 and 2 of the Tobey Maguire movies right before I saw this movie, so they were very fresh in my mind. and I didn't like degrade them for less than optimal CGI because
Sure.
they still hold up pretty well actually.
I think they do also, especially
Yeah,
the Doc Ock
some,
fight and stuff was awesome. I feel.
Yeah, totally. In the bank and everything. The only parts that didn't were in the first movie when he's jumping rooftop to rooftop before he's got the suit and everything.
Right.
It's very green screen obvious,
Sure.
but like that stuff doesn't take me out of the film at all because I still remember it with fond, feelings. But I think it might be the best Spider-Man movie ever.
Right. Right.
Yeah, I think it's the best.
Do you?
Yeah, that's my favorite so far.
Yeah, because Spider-Man 2 is so good, but it's totally different in this movie. It's almost not a fair comparison because it's so serious. He gives up being Spider-Man. Yep. Like so many, he loses his powers. He's got kind of like, a little bit of web shooter like man problems where he's like, why isn't my shit working?
Yeah.
So, I don't know. He's like Spider-Man Viagra or something in that movie, but it's a little. So this movie's totally different because it's just basically like a fun joyride for 90% of it.
Yeah, totally. I agree with you. I liked 1 and 2 a lot. The Andrew movies, I like those too, but not as much as this for sure. I feel like those are
two?
Second. What is his name? Andrew Garfield?
No, you like Amazing Spider-Man 2?
No, well, the first 2 Tobey Maguire ones.
Okay.
Right? And then
said you like both Andrew Garfield ones. I was going to roast you a little bit because Amazing Spider-Man 2 is the worst movie.
I think
ever.
3 I think 3 is way worse than 2.
No.
I think it is. I thought 3 was awful.
Look,
Anyways.
emo Peter Parker had one bad scene, but Electro is terrible for the whole movie, and he's also Edward Nygma from Batman Forever for the first 30 minutes of the movie. It's so unforgivable bad. And then Goblin's just like got snot dripping out of his nose. What the hell is that movie? I hate it so much.
We'll have to agree to disagree. That's why we have
I
you on
walked
the show.
out angry.
I like the differing points of view for sure. 3 was way worse. By the end of 3, it was a mess. It was just superheroes flying around each other for no reason or discernible story whatsoever.
Sandman had a good story, but they ruined the best Spider-Man villain ever, which in my opinion is Venom.
Venom, yeah, for sure.
Fuck them for doing that.
Yep, absolutely. Anyways, back to this one.
I like the interrogation voice in this one. Was awesome.
Oh god, that was hilarious.
Yeah, that was so funny.
I love that he didn't know any of the modes, like he had not used them at all, and he had to use them on the fly. That was, they built so much humor into it, and those scenes totally worked because you would be thinking the same way he does. But he's also a genius, so he tends to figure things out pretty quickly.
Right, absolutely. Yep. Yeah, and the one other thing I'd say, Casey, about what you were talking about is just, or your points that you're making overall, is that I feel like, while I do like those first 2 movies almost as much, I'm having more fun kind of thinking through this movie after I left it because of how it fits into the overall MCU. Those other ones being kind of solo movies, like I just enjoy whatever. The overall story at this point is so fun and just so glad that they got them. I hope they figure out, I don't know if this is, from what I understand, this is just a couple movie deal. And, particularly if they're going to kind of kick him off in the next one, like I'm upset that Venom's not going to have him in it. All this, like I wish they'd figure all their shit out and be able to just full on have him.
Venom shouldn't have his own movie, period.
Yeah, we'll see. I still have high hopes, and I have high hopes and low expectations for the Venom movie. We'll see. But
I like
what's that?
When you're, I was going to talk about this earlier in the show. I guess I still can, but Kevin Feige or whatever just said there's talking about a 5-movie plan for Spider-Man, saying we're looking at a 5-movie storyline: Civil War, Homecoming, Avengers: Infinity War, the Untitled Avengers, and Homecoming 2 as an amazing 5-part story for journey for Peter Parker.
Right.
So
he signed on to a 5-year deal. I know that, or a 5-movie deal.
So. Yeah, so that's awesome. In ending, we talked last week about how Homecoming 2 is going to be the start of Phase 4. That's awesome. Also, to kind of.
I don't know if they'll call it Homecoming though.
You'd assume.
Yeah,
you'd assume they wouldn't. But I thought
that happened.
To have whatever's going to happen with Iron Man, Cap, Thor, who apparently are one way or another are going to be out of the MCU. It'll be cool to have Spider-Man bring this through to whatever comes next, sort of deal. But
New Avengers, it's got to happen. Yeah.
What's that?
New Avengers has to happen eventually.
Yeah,
they
right.
all these guys going forever.
I
know Cap and Iron Man are probably the main 2 that'll leave, but
yeah, I just wish Spider-Man could be in the New Avengers. You know what I mean?
Well,
I'd love
that was
to
an
have
interesting choice though that they made with him, like, because the whole movie is him like, make me an Avenger, make me an Avenger,
Right.
and they're like, pump the brakes, kid, pump the brakes, and at the end they're like, all right, suit, and he's like, you know what, you're right, I'm 15 years old, I should really just stick to what I'm can do right now and build my skills, and if you guys need me for a big event like, I don't know, Infinity War or something, then give me a fucking call. But
right.
for now,
I think it's perfect.
Friendly Neighborhood Spider-Man works.
Yeah. Like I can't agree more for sure. So yeah, we'll see. I guess just a few other points if we want to roll through. I thought the Vulture was great. I thought their fight.
It was scary.
Yeah, he was definitely the way that they made him scary. That was cool. And I going along with the comics, how him being an old man, but still being intimidating and whatnot.
Yeah,
was cool.
he was ready to do whatever he needed to do to protect his life, his family, his world, his investment. That was really crazy. What's one thing that I didn't notice until after the movie is because everyone knows Mary Jane's not in the movie, but like MJ is at the end.
Right.
That's whatever. But I really liked his friend, and I was thinking about his friend's name's Ned, I believe, and that character was so great and gave us like I felt like the whole time that Peter's like trying to be more than a 15-year-old, his friend keeps him there. He's like, hey, do you realize how fucking cool this is? Like, he makes him like take a step back and go, holy shit, I am fucking Spider-Man. And like that was such a great element of the film to keep him grounded as Peter Parker and not just Spider-Man. But did you guys notice that like there was not one mention of Harry Osborn anywhere?
Right.
And that's supposed to be like his ride or die friend for his whole childhood. So I'm wondering if they're going to completely bypass that, or if maybe they'll do like Amazing Spider-Man 2, the piece of shit did, where he comes back and he's like, hey, I've been at camp for 20 years or boarding school. Remember how we used to be best friends? And like, oh yeah, quick flashback, and now they're friends again. I don't know, they might do that, but it was interesting that there was no mention of Osborn, Oscorp, Harry, any.
Yeah, that's true.
I think that's just a fact that he's been done to death in the other movies. You know what I mean? That they just kind of wanted to make a clean
move
break.
on.
Yeah, I liked the fact that MJ was not Mary Jane. I feel like go ahead and mix that kind of stuff up. That's the kind of stuff that I doesn't necessarily have to be old school canon with the comic books and whatnot. I liked the kind of how I was almost complaining before about when we were doing a review for the comics, the Avengers high-tech Spider-Man, like, I like your friendly neighborhood Spider-Man, and I thought this movie just did a great job of kind of playing that back and forth with him. You know what I mean? The him wanting to do, as he was looking at the kids playing in the pool or whatever, but knew that he had to go try and save the world instead, sort of thing. You know what I mean? Which you assume that's what all led into his decision at the end to not be an Avenger. Plus, he thought he was being tested, sort of thing. I liked all that stuff. I thought it was well played.
For sure.
Yeah, the suit was awesome. Yeah, it was sweet when he took off the training wheels and couldn't figure shit out, and
right.
And then now he didn't actually need the suit, and yeah, I thought it was really cool.
So
it was almost like an origin story where he's already Spider-Man, but he isn't good at being Spider-Man yet, so he had to learn a lot and have like a mentor to kind of keep him in check or whatever. I thought it was really great. I mean, no one needs to see him get bit by a spider.
Right.
No one needs to see his uncle die.
Yep.
Any of that stuff. I'm curious though, because like you omit Mary Jane, you omit Ben, you omit Harry and his dad, but they also omitted the entire job portion with the Daily Bugle and with J. Jonah Jameson, and everyone was kind of wondering who's going to be the new J. Jonah Jameson because the actor before was so freaking perfect that like it's going to be hard to do. But also, he was a caricature built in a 60s sort of colorful time frame.
Yep.
That wouldn't work now. It wouldn't even be a newspaper. It would probably be like an online blog, like almost like a TMZ thing. That'd be a cool way to go with it. I know there was some rumors for like Ice Cube and stuff to be the guy.
Right.
Like someone just crotchety and angry. Like that could work, but
totally,
I don't know.
His whole thing is, you're the Spider-Man from YouTube. You know what I mean? That's the whole point. So
not the Daily Bugle, the local menace or whatever.
Right.
We have to go a different direction with that.
Yeah,
For
totally.
sure.
The one other thing, I don't know if this is intentional or not, I feel like it almost might have been. I thought it was funny that this was this year's only movie where a superhero was flying an invisible jet, and it wasn't Wonder Woman.
That's awesome.
Right.
What a great fucking idea. Yeah, that's totally true.
The other point is that the first thing Corey saw this movie 2 days ago, and the first thing he said when he called me up is that, well, Spider-Man doesn't murder anybody in this movie. And that's why, if you watch our other shows, you know that bugs the hell out of me with the DC universe right now. So all these superheroes are killing humans. So anyways, that's all I got. Let's do one last kind of roundabout. Did you miss anything? Do you want to wrap it up?
Hey, quick point real quick.
Yeah.
Okay, so the two characters that have to come in the next Spider-Man movie, J. Jonah Jameson, and a villain of your choice, preferably that hasn't been used yet. What are your choices?
For me, it's Mysterio. 100%.
Mysterio?
Yeah,
God damn it. I was almost going to pick him. What about you, Corey?
I don't know. I'd want like Venom or Mysterio too, but are they gonna have them in two separate movies at the same time? I feel like they won't be the villains because of it's still Sony and they're already doing movies on them.
Yeah, but this is Pipe Dream. The world is yours. Who's your favorite Spidey villain?
I like Venom.
Yeah,
me too.
A
good Venom, and I'm sorry, but I'm old school. I want my Venom to be like, and that was one other thing about the movie that didn't make sense to me is Flash was like kind of a nerdy looking Arab dude who's like not built or any like intimidating. The only intimidating thing he has is that he has like a mean nickname, Penis Parker, for Peter. And like I was like, dude, I want my Venom to be. I don't want it to be another fucking Topher Grace little wimpy dude who's just kind of the same size but has a scarier face. I want him to be a big, hulking version. Black with the same powers but stronger and scary, just like in the comics and in the animated series. The animated series is really what made Venom a household name, and he is so scary. I mean, what do you do against a villain who has the same powers as you but stronger and is bigger and has like this, and is also just happens to be your high school bully? I mean, that's like terrifying on so many levels, character levels, superhero levels. I want to see that done properly at some point, but Mysterio would be great. So I don't know. Yep. Scorpion, I mean, Kingpin. They already did Kingpin perfectly in Daredevil, though, so they won't use him. But, Mysterio would be great because how do you fight something that's barely even kind of there? He's so good at, like, vanishing and, like, setting all... He's basically like Jigsaw, like from Saw, but the Spider-Man version where he sets all these traps for him that he falls for. That would be great, too. Totally different movie.
Yep.
Sure.
All right.
A villain you can't punch.
So wrap it up. Corey, final thoughts?
Thought it was awesome. We didn't talk about the post credits.
Those were great too.
The Cap.
Yeah.
That was funny.
Yeah, that was hilarious. All the Cap movies were awesome.
Yeah.
Every one of them was, I thought.
For sure.
That was such a cool through line. To have, like, what would they have Cap do? Probably shitty little gym videos for teenagers.
I liked also, now that you bring that up, I liked the video that they didn't show, which was like, your body's going through changes? Tell you, I've been there. Like, that one was awesome as he's going off screen. And then the one comment from the gym teacher who was like, yeah, I'm pretty sure this guy's a war criminal now, but whatever, I got to show these videos. Like, it was cool.
Yeah.
And then, what was the other post-credit scene? I kind of forget now.
It was the Vulture in jail with
that was kind of forgettable
with Scorpion telling him
with Nacho. If you watch Better Call Saul, you know.
It was kind of weird having a villain stay alive, go to jail with other villains who happens to also know that he's Peter Parker. That's like a huge fucking hole. They're gonna have to plug eventually because that could be like his completely undoing. How do you guys feel about Aunt May finding out at the end, like with the what the ending? That was the best.
Yeah, that was awesome. Yeah, for sure.
And of course, they cut to the Ramones because it's a good movie.
Yep, it was great, and it was also just let's we didn't mention that either. The soundtrack was great. All the songs were real great.
So
fun. I thought. Yep. I wasn't actually a huge fan of the score. of it, but the actual like soundtrack I loved. Every song in it was a hit, I thought.
Sure.
But yeah, and as far as Aunt May goes, like I feel like that's just another good kind of break from the traditional story. I like it, you know.
Yeah.
My girlfriend was actually mad that Aunt May wasn't as hot in this movie as she was in Civil War. She's like, why is she dressed in like a frumpy old lady with like waspy glasses and stuff? I'm like, I don't know. They're going a different direction with her. Like, where she's still hot. I mean, she's still Marissa Tomei, but she's not dressed like in a sexy, you know, dress or anything.
Yeah, I thought it was kind of weird. They were talking about how hot she was, and I was like, she's not really that hot, I don't think. But
I'm 41. I thought she was hot.
Okay, she takes those glasses off, whips that hair around, and crawls on the table, and you lose your shit. Don't lie, Corey.
Yeah.
Yo.
And then I guess I really like the Washington Monument scene when he was trying to use his voice after rescuing everybody,
Right.
trying to impress the chick and everything. It was hilarious. Yeah.
Dude, that was a big
Great
first
movie.
because he was in a different city for once.
Yeah.
Besides Civil War, obviously, where they're in Germany, but that was like the first Spider-Man movie where he's been out of the city. So, and he was out of the city twice, technically.
Yeah, so much as we sit here, I keep on thinking of more things I want to talk about too. As we
So
go
good.
through it. Yeah,
It's
it was
so
a great
good.
movie. Yeah, it was really good for sure.
Yeah, I mean,
Sure.
and plus, I read about Tom Holland right before this that he did Billy Elliot, like the kid that does ballet kind of on Broadway for a long time. So and then he also did like all kinds of gymnastics and stuff. So he does like a lot of that stuff naturally.
Sure.
With wire work, he does like tons of his own stunts. I mean, like I watched this other review, and the girl called him adorable, and I was like, he might be the only guy in history to be called adorable who has a freaking six-pack.
Right?
And he's kind of a beast
Yeah.
for being as small as he is.
Yeah, for sure.
He really personifies him perfectly.
Oh yeah.
And they made him a nerd, and they made him poor, which was great too, because you know no one wants to watch that privileged rich kid who's also a genius.
Yes.
Right.
That's when
We
you
got
start.
enough of
Here,
them.
you have them.
Got enough of
Yeah.
that. All right. Well, Casey, thanks as always for joining.
So fun, you guys. Thanks for having me.
What's the next one?
Next movie I'm doing is Dawn of the Planet of the Apes. Or
Okay.
no, it's War of the Planet of the Apes.
Right.
God,
Right.
still stuck on Dawn. So good.
What's the
I'm
next
very excited
superhero
for that.
movie this year? What would be the next one that you join us for?
It's
Probably
Thor.
Thor Ragnarok, right?
Thor, yeah.
Does that come before Justice League?
Yeah.
Yes, that's
Yeah.
in November.
Okay.
I believe Justice League is early next. No, it's also November, but it's 2 weeks later, I think.
Right.
They wouldn't put
Right.
them back to back. It would kill their box office. I think it's 2 weeks
Right.
after.
And then into Star Wars.
No.
Come on.
Come on.
I'm waiting for that next trailer, that next Star Wars trailer. It's got to happen soon,
It
right?
seems like they're never
Real.
going to do another one.
I
It's
want
driving me
more.
crazy. I know.
And
It's
I'm doing
insane.
trailer reactions on my channel now, and I'm gonna be doing one for that. Like I'm just like refreshing IMDb every day,
Right.
waiting for a new one to pop up.
Totally. All right. Well, thanks again, everybody else. That's the end of our show. This has been Comically Gaming, episode 60. Thanks for stopping by. We'll see you next week. Casey, later. Corey.
Cheers. Later.